Well, we are talking about COVID and your job, and we're going to kind of move into a segment of employment and how it affects your employment and what happens if you get to go back to work pretty soon, and all the different changes that are in place right now. So we've got a great guest joining us.
Absolutely. Got my good friend Rod Cook's coming in with us tonight. Rod has helped people in Birmingham around the state with labor and employment issues for a number of years. So grateful that he made time for us tonight. Rod, you doing okay?
I'm sheltering in place and I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Staying safe, you and your family, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, Rod, we wanted to talk with you a little bit tonight about employment issues. We're getting so many questions and calls on that. Rod, if the ban is lifted towards the end of the month, like some people are saying that it may be on a limited basis, and people are asked to return to work in certain jobs, what happens to people in risk groups? Like, let's say someone's pregnant or they have a respiratory problem. Talk to us about what their options are.
Well, if somebody falls into one of those high-risk categories because they have some kind of underlying condition like diabetes or hypertension or asthma or something like that would make them more susceptible to the ill effects of COVID-19, then what they can request from their employer under the Americans with Disabilities Act is an accommodation, a reasonable accommodation. And what that means is that the employer is going to have to sit down with the employee once that request is made and try to see if there's a safe way to work within that employee's restrictions to get them back to work where they're not put at risk and they're not putting their coworkers at risk.
And Rod, another question that we've been getting a lot of, people are legitimately concerned about going back to work, and they're asking us, so what if someone in my office is showing symptoms, or what if I'm working in a workstation next to somebody that is showing symptoms? What happens in that instance?
Well, what we've seen, because this situation is novel, it's never happened before, what we've seen is that employers are making folks go home. They're saying, hey, if you're sick, we don't want this to spread. We're going to furlough you or lay you off or require you to self-quarantine until either you get better or you get tested and you come back negative. Now, if you're one of the people that happens to, there are some avenues that you can take that will allow you to, get money during the period that you're off work. One of them is the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, and that's part of that stimulus package that was passed. And what that does is for employees that work for companies with under 500 employees, you get 80 hours of paid sick leave, and that coincides with 2 weeks of pay, which is the medical experts say that you need 14 days to see whether you've either had the disease or quarantine to make sure that you don't have it. And if you do have it, then you have to stay off work longer. If you have to stay off work longer past that, then you're entitled to file for unemployment benefits with the state of Alabama. And with that, as part of the stimulus package, I think the benefit is $275 regularly, and you get an extra $600 on top of that.
That's the federal allowance, isn't that right?
Yes, the federal allowance, the extra $600. Yes, sir.
We've asked our employees at the office, even if they're not showing any symptoms, if they've had any even remote contact with the virus, to let us know up front. They can take a couple of days off with pay and just go get tested. That's what we're trying to institute, and I hope other employers are going to do similar things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in our office, we have an employee that we've had, and we furloughed her, but she wasn't showing any signs of any disease state. But she's a college student, and she's around a lot of young folks.
Right. And
so we're trying to be proactive and saying, okay, the kind of work we do, she can work from home. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the work that we do, we can do from home because it's electronic now or digital. So we file pleadings over the internet and all that kind of thing.
Just a lot of good common sense measures.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, talk to us. I guess a question I had for you is, are employers going to be required to provide the hand sanitizer or masks for their employees? Or is that going to be up to the employee to provide those on?
I think that would, government is usually not going to mandate those kind of things. What do you think, Kirby? I don't think government would mandate it. I think a business could mandate that without any problem, but I don't think a business is going to be responsible for supplying you with masks and hand sanitizer unless they want to. But I think if you're a first responder or some kind of healthcare personnel, something like that, I would think that they would do it.
It's such a different time, right? I'm not sure when they reopen what those phases are going to look like. That could be an option, but one of the problems that you will face as an employer is getting those masks. I would love to provide those to our employees, but I'm not sure that we can get them.
You're absolutely right. I went to Amazon to order some, and they just don't have them.
Yep, that's what we're seeing. So I would be a little surprised if that's mandated.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to make sure and tell our folks at home that are watching tonight as we kind of inch closer to possibly going into this phase 1, where we're allowed to maybe go back to some jobs and businesses are open, or reopening, I should say?
Well, you have to use common sense measures with this thing. A lot of hand washing. Follow what the experts say. Stay off the internet as far as these these cures and these folks that are saying that it's a hoax and all that. It's not a hoax. It's real. I wanted to add one thing about the people in the gig economy, like Uber and Lyft drivers and folks like that, or self-employed people. They can apply for unemployment benefits too. If the business is dried up, nobody's Ubering, you don't see cars on the road like you used to, and folks in that gig economy that depend on those jobs to feed their families and take care of their responsibilities, they're eligible for unemployment benefits as well.
Okay.
Great information, right?
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your expertise tonight. Thank you again, Rod Cooks. We hope that you stay healthy and hope to see you in person soon.
I hope so too. Thank y'all.
All right, have a great night. Thank you so much.
Take care, Rod.